Welcome back to Think Thrice Problem Solving. Today we're going to be solving a fun little problem. It was a Cambridge interview question, and we're tasked to rewrite the square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 2 in the form a plus b square root of c. So let's go ahead and think through this a little bit. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to write this guy as this guy. Okay, so we're taking the equation on the left, we're taking the equation on the left and equating it to this guy on the right. So what we can do first is we can square both of this guy. So this is a square root, so we know this guy is greater than or equal to 0. And it's definitely, it could be, it's not 0. 3 is not 2 root 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. So let's square the both sides. We get 3 minus 2 square root of 2 is equal to a squared plus 2ab square root of c plus b squared c. Okay, so what we're going to notice first is on the left we have this square root of 2 over here. And on the right, we have this 1 square root term. So since we have a square root term, it'd be really nice if that was just square root of 2. That way we don't have to deal with any interesting numbers for a or b. So let's kind of see what that looks like. So if we take these terms, so let's take the square root terms, and let's say that c equals 2. C equals 2, sorry. So if c equals 2, then now we can take the square root terms, and on the left, we have negative 2 times square root of 2. And on the right, we have 2ab is equal to 2ab times square root of 2. So if we take these guys, we can rewrite this and rewrite it as b equals negative 2 over 2a, which is just negative 1 over a. Okay, so now let's look at the other terms. So we have this 3 on the left, and we have this a squared plus b squared c. So these are our just one column. So let's do 3 on the left is equal to a squared plus b squared c. And we know that c is equal to 2, so we can go ahead and plug that guy in there. And then we can take this other guy, let's take this negative 1 over a, plug it in for b right there, and we can rewrite that as 3 is equal to a squared plus negative 1 over a squared times 2. And let's go ahead and move that 3 to the other side. So we're going to get 0 is equal to a squared minus 3, because we subtracted the 3 from both sides. And the negative is squared, so we're going to get plus 2 over a squared. Okay, so as part of our solution, we're going to need a to be non-zero. If a is 0, then we're left with just this one term, b squared c, and that guy's not going to equal 3 minus 2 root 2 if c is 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and assume that a is not equal to 0 here. So we can multiply both sides of this equation by a squared to get a squared out of the denominator. And we're left with 0 is equal to a to the 4th minus 3a squared plus 2. Okay, and this is a quadratic using a squared instead of x in your normal quadratic equation. So let's go ahead and factor this. So we have 0 is equal to 2 guys. And if we have a squared on the left and right, so a squared times a squared is a to the 4th. And we notice we have minus 3 and we have plus 2. So plus 2, if we have integers, it's going to be 2 and 1 are the factors. We have to subtract both of them to get negative 3. So this is just going to be a squared minus 2 and a squared minus 1. We can check our work. That'll come out nice and clean. Okay. Oops. so now that we have that set up for us, we know what our values of a are. So it looks like we have a is equal to plus or minus 1, because negative 1 squared is still 1, minus 1 is 0. Or we have a is equal to plus or minus square root of 2. Okay, so we have a and b. So a can be 1, negative 1, root 2, or negative root 2. And remember b, what is b? So b from this equation up here is negative 1 over a. So negative 1 over a, we can quickly see that this is going to be negative 1, 1, negative 1 over root 2, and positive 1 over root 2. Okay, so what was a and b? In case we kind of lost in the sauce a little bit, remember we have this equation up here at the top. We were looking for a plus b squared root of c. We know that c is equal to 2. So our 4 solutions here are going to be 1 minus square root of 2, negative 1 plus square root of 2, square root of 2 minus square root of 2 divided by square root of 2, and negative square root of 2 plus square root of 2 over square root of 2. So if you got lost there, so I was just taking these terms. These are by themselves over here. And these terms are multiplied by square root of 2 on the right. So what do we notice about these? So we can take these guys one step further. Root 2 over root 2 is 1, so this is square root of 2 minus 1. And this is negative square root of 2 plus 1. What do you know? This guy is this guy, and this guy is this guy. So we really have 2 possible answers, 1 minus root 2 and negative 1 plus root 2. So are there 2 answers? Well, let's look back at the original question we were asking. So the original question we were asking is we're rewriting square root of 3 minus 2 root 2. So square root, if we're dealing with our real numbers, so that number is going to be positive, which means that we only want the positive one of these 2 guys. And since square root of 2 is bigger than 1, square root of 2 is 1.41 and some change, we're going to want this guy. So our final answer is going to be negative 1 plus square root of 2 is going to be the same as the square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 2. So these guys are equivalent expressions. And that's all we were going for. So thank you very much for joining me. If you liked this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And have a great day.